Right, so I'm at the Keep Corbyn rally, which was organised within 24 hours of the now former Shadow Cabinet having resigned, in which the majority of the Shadow Cabinet has resigned. And most of the people here, you can see, are big fans of Jeremy Corbyn. You know, they're probably the people that voted him in the first place last year, where he won, in fact, with a majority of over 50%. So there is quite an angry mood around, a bit of a tension, because people think they're being not heard mostly, if not even silenced, by the people over there in the House of Commons. So let's stick around, let's see what happens.
No point, it's no point just making speeches, we have to do stuff. Number one, we need 100 potential new MPs from all these young people, all these women, all these members of ethnic minority groups, disabled people, gay people. Get some people in there who suffer the hardships of working class life, not the hardship of having your career blighted by not being able to do your job properly. Second, the UK is facing a massive constitutional and geopolitical crisis. I don't think many people realise that surrounding us and circling us like sharks are financial markets that want to take us down. We're also seeing a run on the pound. We're seeing the EU basically pushing us around and saying, do this, do that. We are a country and we need the government and the opposition to stand up and stabilise things. And I think for your viewers, what I say to them is, however distasteful you find it, political parties or getting involved with politics, please get involved now, because the future, not just of the Labour Party, but of the country will be decided on who runs Labour.
And what do you say to all those people who are worried that Jeremy is not the right defender for the Remain cause? Particularly all those young people who felt alienated by the fact that the rest of the country, an older generation, has voted to leave.
Well, first of all, the young, unfortunately, didn't vote in large numbers. I think it's 43% on the highest turnout. No, I think they should have voted, and I think they should have voted Remain. But look, we know the point at which Leave overtook Remain, and it was the point where the Remain campaign jumped the shark. That is, it basically started telling lies so big that it couldn't tell any bigger ones. Like there's going to be a nuclear war, the world's going to collapse, and there's going to be Armageddon meltdown. We said always, European Union is not great. It needs to be reformed. If we stay in, the only reason is to reform it. Jeremy said that, and I think he was right. I think we can't measure it. I'm pretty certain, though, that by doing that, he stemmed the losses towards the Leave campaign. I think there are people who voted to Remain because of Jeremy Corbyn.
People are just absolutely astounded and disgusted at what's happening over the past 24 hours in the Parliamentary Labour Party. It shows how out of touch they are. People want answers to what's happening in the aftermath of the referendum, and instead of that, Labour's being diverted down this path of a pantomime, with a load of pantomime dames playing a game over there. Interestingly, they blame him for the referendum outcome, but Hilary Benn couldn't win his constituents, Margaret Hodge couldn't win a constituent. All these people behind this coup can't win the argument in their own backyard, but they want to blame Jeremy Corbyn for the outcome. It's disgraceful.
But let me make it clear, if there is another leadership election, Jeremy Corbyn will be standing again and I will be supporting him.
Disappointed and angered by the last 24 hours. What we've seen is some Labour MPs choosing to make their priority, not taking the fight to the Tories, but choosing to make their priority, acting upon their simmering and seething resentment at the decision that Labour Party members made in overwhelming numbers last September, on September the 12th. There's no future for the Labour Party in returning to what is perceived as an establishment politics, and people need to get their heads around that. The European Union referendum showed that people out there are angry with the current political and economic establishment. So if Labour's response is to try and return to being part of that political and economic establishment, then unfortunately, politically and electorally, disaster will follow.
Friends, can I just... Friends, please. Straight after we won the leadership election last year, we came to this very same spot to speak up for the rights of refugees to live in our society. I don't want to be somebody that says to young people, sorry, you're not going to have it as good as we did because the nation can't afford it, and sorry, your children, our grandchildren, are not going to have it as good as you are because the nation can't afford it, and we then cascade inequality and poverty and debt down the generations? Or are we to say that the brilliance of technology, the brilliance of science, the brilliance of engineering can, should and must be the tool and the opportunity for the redistribution of wealth, for the opportunities of equality?
How are you feeling today?
We're trying to ensure we unite the party and the movement.
Keep Corbyn rally is over, and you can see people dispersing all over here. But I think what we really learned from today is that this is going to be a fight that we should really keep an eye out on. Because during the rally, what we really noticed was that the trade unions are out in force. You know, it's not just the people you can see here, young people, older people, workers, pensioners, and so on. It's the trade unions organizing in force who are coming out. They all spoke today, or a lot of them did. But also, the MPs who support Corbyn all came out today in his support. There was John McDonnell, there was Diane Abbott, there was Dennis Skinner. You know, the heavyweights came out in support of their leader and their friend, and that says something. That says they're not going to go out without a fight. They could throw in the towel, say, okay, we got to try, but they didn't. They came out, they're going to keep on fighting, and sure as hell, I'm going to be here to watch what happens next.